So if you love cats, I'm evil. And really, this is just indicative of how many pieces of the puzzle I don't have put together to make things work. One, this is a great group of dogs. They're not as bad as I've had. My past dogs have killed cows. Past pack, different time, different circumstances. I had to pay for those cows. I didn't know whose cat this is. My neighbor just watched it. I mean, a guy in town that lives near there. He just watched it and he was like, oh, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, fuck. But each problem is solvable. This problem needs two solutions. One is to get control of the dogs. I'm followed around and outnumbered by a pack of dogs, one of which is barely mine, since it won't even let me touch it. And also isn't sterilized because of that. So, training of the dogs is one idea. Great idea. Let's do that. Somehow. Training not to kill a cat's really hard. That's the first time this has ever happened with this pack. They haven't killed a chicken. They haven't killed a cat. They've chased them before. They've chased... well, I taught them not to bother chickens. The real solution is actual security, which means fencing. Which means the forest I live in has to have fences that you have to go through to get to here. And I have a lot of area to fence. I have about 3 kilometers if I want to fence just the outside of it. 3 kilometers of fencing. Some of that could be shared with my neighbors, but if they're not motivated to have a better fence, then the problem is mine. Even though there are agreements with the neighbors about who maintains which fence, just barbed wire fences that rot and the posts fall down and, you know, they barely keep cows out. So there is a set cost that is estimatable of how much material that would take probably to put up chain link fence. I don't like chain link fence. It looks ugly. I just don't like it. And so we can cost estimate it. We could even cost estimate it with a roll of like razor wire at the top. So really nobody's getting through that fucking fence. No dogs and no people. And good fences do make good neighbors, so it would be a good start. I would rather build stone fences and longer lasting big fences that can become part of building a building next to it or something. But I have a problem to solve, and that will take forever and be more costly. It will cost, let's just say 10 times as much at least, and take a long time, and involve a team of people being on site a huge amount for a long time. And people are beings you have to pay attention to. Can I fence in smaller parts? Why, yes, I can. And I could do that. I could fence in smaller areas and just start with that. And I have areas in mind. I have places where I could put one fence that would block off certain types of interactions and allow for others. There isn't a right solution, and I know you're gonna be tempted in comments to think you have one, but you're not on the ground. You don't know shit, and you're not offering to pay for it. So, you know, you're not going to give me $30,000 to put a fence up. I don't even know how much it will cost, but I should know the cost. That's my job, to know the cost, and then a lot of shit to do to figure out what are the first priorities to cause there to be any income that then can finance the rest of it. That is the puzzle I live in. It's a more complicated puzzle than whatever tiny solution is in your mind that you're going to write. And by the way, if you do comment and you don't have videos, if your comment isn't really very nice, why wouldn't I block you? I mean, why the fuck wouldn't I? And sometimes I have and sometimes I haven't. Theoretically, any comment is good because it gets attention to your channel, but that's not really my goal. I mean, yeah, I'd like to monetize the channel later, and actually I'm getting more subscribers and watched hours, and I'll be able to do that fairly soon, within a few months probably. And I'm uploading a whole bunch of small videos. Fuck. See, when I say that I'm at risk and things are difficult, I never know where that difficulty is going to manifest itself next, where it's going to show up. And so I'm always just trying to do risk reduction while trying to also keep myself somewhat sane. And I get plenty of advice. I don't really, I mean, you can offer it, thank you. Sometimes it's useful. But usually I've already thought about that thing. Like the idiot who just told me I should like think about planting a garden. And it's like, good Lord, I have produced more food on that property. Hola. At times, and there's so much I had to give it away. But gardening is not free. Now, in theory, and I'll make a video about this, food forest farming is the way to go, and it could end up almost free at the end. It's still not free. But that's what I should talk about, is food forest farming.